Welcome back. In today's video clip, I am going to talk about the water temperature to whisk your matcha. If you're making thin matcha or usucha, the ideal temperature according to tea masters would be 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. Now, why is the temperature important? If you use water temperature that is too hot, it could scorch your matcha, burn it, or even worse, destroy the nutrients that are present in your matcha. That is the L-theanine, which is responsible for relaxing, and the slow energy boost will be completely gone if you are burning your matcha. Apart from that, it is also going to reduce the chlorophyll that is present in your matcha, that powerful, vibrant green color. If you use a very hot temperature, what happens is that the color of your matcha becomes dull, probably more yellow, and that is not ideal. What about if you use too cold or even room temperature water? The problem with whisking matcha in cold water is that you don't get that microfoam. It is very hard for you to get that foamy top. You get large bubbles, and also, of course, it is going to make your tea cold, especially if you are making it in hot drinks. So today, I am going to make an experiment and test 3 different water temperature. One is 50 degrees, a little bit colder, on the colder side. The next one is the ideal temperature, 70 degrees. And finally, a little bit hotter, 90 degrees. And let's find out how they affect the taste. Let's take a look at the method that we are going to use. We're going to use a ceremonial method because we're making a thin matcha. So I'm going to use a matcha bowl. I'm going to use a matcha whisk. And this is 17 prongs, perfect for thin matcha. And for our matcha, it's very important that you use high quality ceremonial grade matcha. For this, I'm going to use my own blend, which is Ritual Shinyoku. This is an Asahi cultivar from Uji, the capital of matcha. For the water, I'm going to use exactly the same amount, 90 ml of water in 3 different temperatures. But let's start with the first one, which is 50 degrees Celsius. I'm going to measure 2 grams of matcha into my bowl. Two grams of matcha sifted. And this is water temperature at 50 degrees. In Japan, it's typically using about 70 to 80 ml of water, but I prefer it a bit more, so I'm using 90 ml of water. Next, it will be using 70 degrees, which is the ideal temperature. 2 grams of matcha, 1 gram there, using the tea scoop, 2 grams. I have here my 2 grams of matcha. For those without a scale, if you want to measure how much is 70 degrees, 90 ml of water, you can use a beaker or a measuring cup. So I'm putting it here in the measuring cup, carefully doing it as quick as possible so that the temperature remains at 70 degrees. So I'll pour it into my bowl here, 90 ml of water. Now for the moment of truth, but I personally prefer to wait a little bit longer rather than taking it straight up. A minute. Finally, at 90 degrees temperature, I'm going to pour 90 ml of water into my bowl. And let's see whether we get the same microfoam at the 70 degrees. So whisk like you mean it. Fast and as fast as you can, the first 10 seconds. I prefer to just whisk the center here and then lift it up and just whisk the surface. The amount of water that I use here is not typical like in Japan, because there they use only 70 to 80 ml. I'm using 90. I prefer this one because this is more suitable for those that are not used to having matcha on a daily basis. Okay, so there you go. 3 different matcha bowls here, one at 50 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees, and 90 degrees. Okay, to conclude, 50 degrees Celsius water temperature. The temperature is not hot enough especially if you're in a cold country. The taste of the tea is very refreshing. It's less astringency, less acidity, but the microfoam is not there. At 70 degrees, the temperature is perfect, and the microfoam is rich and stable as well. The taste of umami is very well pronounced. And of course, we're saying that the nutrients in the matcha are retained. And with 90 degrees Celsius, this is the hottest, although not at boiling point. The taste of the matcha is also more bitter, more acidic, more astringency, but the microfoam is the best amongst all of these 3 water temperature. So for now, I'm saying I am confirming that the best temperature for whisking your hot matcha would be at 70 degrees, and that is what I am recommending to you. So if you have any questions at all about any of the methods that we used here, and also anything at all about usucha or thin matcha, do let me know in the comment below. And if you haven't yet got a copy of my book, All Things Milk Tea and the Basic Barista, you can purchase them on our website as well as on Amazon. For those that are interested in wholesale matcha and also matcha accessories, do check out ourmatcha.com. Details below. I'll see you again next time. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Ciao for now.